Dr. Seuss was a very imaginative person. His stories had lots of different ideas in them that all came from his imagination. But he was often inspired by things that already exist, and he just changed the colors or the shapes or the sizes, or he combined two things into one. So, for example, these things that kind of look like trees have a very skinny trunk, so he changed the size of the trunk. He changed the color. We don't normally see pink leaves. And he kind of changed the shape of the top of a tree. So we can imagine it's a tree. We know what it is, but it's not one we've ever seen before. He also changed something that we see often, which is city buildings and blocks. So he made them a little bit different, but we can still recognize what it is because he started with an idea we already know about. He invented animals too. So he often took a couple of different animals and combined them into a new and invented one. So this animal has a long neck. What kind of animal has a long neck he might have been inspired by? He also combined it with a green color. What animals are green? It has a little bit of hair on the top of his head or feathers. Some birds have feathers on the top of their head. So he's combined a couple of different animals. And can you think of an animal that might live underground? Because his animal's popping his head up to look at the character. So Dr. Seuss probably combined an alligator, a bird, and maybe a giraffe to make this animal. He changed the colors of some things. So we might actually see fields like this in real life and mountains, but he made the colors very different. He changed the shapes of some things like buildings. He added patterns to some things. We might not normally see patterns like this on columns. And this is a completely invented place. I don't think I've seen anything like this in real life. Kind of reminds me of walking underneath an elephant. He changed the way we think of hot air balloons. This actually looks like a balloon that you might get at a birthday party with a little strange shape attached to it. He changed the shapes of buildings, and he kind of invented some architecture. Architecture is the art of drawing buildings. Again, he's changing the colors of things we probably see in real life. So for our assignment today, what I'm asking you to do is come up with your own environment, an invented environment, something that does not exist on our planet, maybe will exist on a different planet. And we can use Dr. Seuss as inspiration. You could design an environment that people might live in, like a house. You could design a wacky house, kind of a silly drawing. You could show people and animals interacting in the environment. It looks like they're playing some games in this one. And here's some more architecture, some more buildings that he invented and designed. So you could cut out some shapes of things. You could draw things in some wacky shapes, some shapes we might not see naturally in our world. And this story is one of my favorite Dr. Seuss stories because of all of the things he invented and put into this book. It also has a very good message that you never know where you're going to go in life. You just have to go. You have to get up and go explore things and do new things, invent new things. You never know where you're going to end up. So to start, maybe think of landscapes that you see or want to draw. Change some things or combine some things. So you could change colors, change patterns, change shapes. So I'm going to make some mountains. And I'm going to make these very curvy mountains. You get curvier the higher up you go. We wouldn't see this in real life. I can also change the colors or add patterns to it. Maybe I want to add some trees because sometimes you see trees in front of mountains. My trees can be lots of silly shapes too. One of my favorite types of line is a spiral. So I'm going to make a spirally tree. This isn't something we would see in real life though. So create an environment, so some place. So far we've only learned about a couple of different environments. We've learned about the Arctic tundra, so very snowy places. We learned about forests and woodlands. But there's other things we haven't quite learned about yet that you could draw, like mountains, deserts, underwater. You can even create something in outer space if you want to. If you have a little bit of time left and you want to add an animal to your picture or a person or an alien, you can add them interacting with their environment. So what are they doing in their environment? Are they eating? Are they sleeping? Are they playing a game? Are they cooking food? So you can draw something or someone doing something within the environment you created. And your last step is to color in your picture. You can be very creative with your colors. You don't have to make this look like real life. So I'm going to make the sky very bright pink. And I'll make the ground bright yellow. And if I want to make my trees and bushes bright rainbow colors, I'm going to take a couple of different colors in my hand at one time. I can probably only hold about 3 at once. So I'm only going to take 3 colors. And you can try this at home if you want to. Try to hold them all at once and just scribble a little bit. It works better if you have smaller markers. My markers were a little bit too big. That's another way that you can get a different kind of a scribbly texture. See how these two are a little bit different? This one looks like the colors more even around it. This one, the colors kind of stayed in their separate spaces.